Planners recommended a wood-burning plant in the countryside because it ticks several boxes for sustainable development, which include regenerating a brownfield site and providing renewable energy.
What they haven't done is actually do the proper due diligence. They haven't looked behind this as a sort of piece of paper and an application and said, is it really sustainable, is it really renewable, and is it really green?
Avion Bowen disagrees. He told Wales This Week,
"There are a number of conditions in the planning report to ensure that only fuel from sustainable sources is used in the operation of the generating station."
In Swansea, the protesters are also concerned about sustainability.
There are also going to be shipments from the Ukraine. I think some is coming from South America. They'll be coming into Swansea Dock here, and then they'll be moving that by road or by rail down to Llanelli. You're using energy to get it all the way down there. I'm sorry, it just does not compute in my eyes.
They question whether Hughes's foreign wood will be certified with the gold standard of the Forest Stewardship Council, or FSC.
Basically, they're mistaken, certainly in regard to the forestry issue, because actually all the wood being supply chain through to these plants is in fact FSC. So I think that quashes that one straight away. In terms of the carbon footprint of transportation, then clearly, yes, you want to mitigate as much as you can the carbon footprint from transporting the feedstock. But having said that, when you look at the overall benefit and the carbon reduction from one of these plants, and let's face it, we're talking about 150,000 tonnes of CO2 reduction per plant per annum, then the transportation emissions are a very, very small and insignificant part of the overall calculation.
Ultimately, protesters at both sites say they're most concerned about the threat of pollution.
This was a heavily industrialised area. That's gone. A lot of it is gone, but it has been replaced by modern industries that still pollute. And that's the bottom line. No more industry on the east side of Swansea.
While Clive Hughes waits for the results of human health studies to be completed at both sites, councillors have been considering visiting existing renewable energy plants to help them work out the likely impact. In 2000, a straw-burning plant came into operation in Cambridgeshire. A local councillor formed a protest group, but independent air quality tests showed that local fears about air pollution were unfounded. He continues to monitor air quality today, thanks to the lichens that grow on his garden wall.
We have a particularly sensitive species that grows on our garden wall, and so I've kept a close eye on this particular species, and I don't think it's been affected by change in air quality at all.
But the former protesters in Cambridgeshire say that their relationship with the initial developer was strained. They say jobs and cheap heating for the community never materialised, and the site was soon sold on.
We have the power station, we have no district heat system and no other employment up there at this moment in time, apart from what was originally there.
Today, despite good relations with the plant's new operators and their county council, villagers still have concerns about the impact of delivery lorries passing through local villages.
The story will never be over for us as protesters, because many of us have got families here, children here, some have got grandchildren here, so it's actually something that we're going to be looking at for the rest of our lives.
If some fears about renewable plants can be dispelled and others negotiated on, it raises questions about why Clive Hughes' team hasn't got its message across more effectively, and why both sides aren't actively looking for common ground.
The dynamic around, sort of coming to an accommodation with Hughes, the reality is you don't accommodate somebody like that. The common ground is already there, in that site has planning permission to develop a light industrial estate. We'd be delighted if that went ahead, because that would bring hundreds of jobs into the local area. But actually putting a power station on that site, number of jobs we've estimated at sort of 20 to 30. It's a highly capital intensive, highly automated sort of site, and we just don't think that's the right use of that land.
I think really what I'd welcome would be the opportunity to sit down and have calm, collected, factual discussion about what these proposals are, referring back to the factual information within our applications, so that we can allay any fears that these people may have.
Carmarthenshire's planning department is still backing the power station, but the council has still to make a final decision.
Either say yes or no to me. I have asked and paid for a service. I'm not having it.
The decisions are likely to be made in the next couple of months. We'll keep you posted. Well, that's Wales This Week. We'll be back at the same time next Monday. See you then.